Izzy, the last time we talked on camera, you said, next time we talk, I'll have the belt. And away you went. And that was 4 months ago.
Yeah, crazy.
And not only have you got the belt, you've done lots of other things that you wanted to do as well.
Yeah, it was crazy. What a experience to go to Atlanta 234, 236 actually, grab the belt, and then finally take this holiday I've been looking forward to. And I've planned to go to Europe for like the last 3 fights I've had, or 4 fights even, and every time it just gets pulled away from under me, and I'm like, and I've lost some money doing it, which I didn't really mind, but eventually I said, nah, scrap that. Europe was going to be there. I want to go to Africa. I want to go back to Nigeria. And that was something that I needed to do for myself. And yeah, it was a very beautiful experience. Just being back in my birthland, and having the people that, they look at me differently. They look at me like with some kind of reverence. Is that the word? Yeah, they look at me and it's like, wow, this is one of us, and and it's pretty cool. Because I've been even just recently to Vegas, and there's a big fight fans over there. But when you have your people from where you grew up looking at you in this new game, and they're like, wow, we're really doing this. It's pretty special. Yeah.
Is that something that you just wanted to get off your bucket list, or is it something that you'll probably do a regular trip
definitely.
back
I think it's just good for the soul. As much as New Zealand is home, it's just good to go back to your home soil and touch base with the culture, so you never forget your roots. Still stay connected with your roots. So even me going back home and just being there for about a week and a bit and just getting amongst the culture, it just refreshed me and inspired me. That now I just feel like, well, actually, I know this is bigger than me. Like I said, the way they looked at me, it was just, even going back to my old primary school, the kids there, they were just losing their minds. So, and I could see myself as any of those kids. So it was like, man, this is bigger than me. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, putting them back in your shoes that you used to be in.
Exactly. Seeing the same uniform, like, I used to be you.
That's cool. I know that you wanted to get that off your mind for a long, long time.
Yeah, definitely.
I know the fight's been done forward, backwards, and dissected every other way. But I'd like to go back to fight day. Eugene told us that as much as he tried to treat it like any other fight, he couldn't. What about you? Like the lead up, the week,
it was the same thing. I could sense it from Eugene, definitely. I could sense it. We've spent enough time around each other that he can read me without me saying anything, and I can do the same thing, vice versa. So he had it in New York as well, I think because it was Madison Square Garden, my kind of big, I don't know, pay-per-view debut. I don't have a pay-per-view debut, just like my big coming out party. So yeah, he had that on 236, and I could sense it, but he never let it affect me. I never let it affect me in a negative way either. And it's trust. Eventually, he puts the trust, like, okay, we've done the work. I know he can, when it comes down to it, he can dig deep, and I did.
You had to, and that fight there, like in 75 years' time or whatever it is, when they have the centenary of the UFC, that fight will be one of the ones that is shown, as highlights. Was Kelvin Gastelum the good guy to have it with?
I think so. I like the story behind it. Like, he's a Mexican warrior, and that boxing style, Mexican style. He brought that to MMA. And that's what I was saying beforehand, like, he's got a Mexican style of fighting. And yeah, I put it on him, and I think he was the perfect dance partner to have that with. I never really thought I'd have one of those in my career. I kind of had an inkling, but I don't look to have fights like that. I look to have clean sweeps and even overcome little adversities, but he gave me a lot of things to overcome. And yeah, even now I've overcome what he did to be able to get to touch me in that fight. I've kind of seen it, and I've dealt with it in training. So yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm happy with the story, the back and forth. My first time getting rocked, in the UFC in the first round, and I dropped him in the second. And then I rocked him again in the third and just schooled him. Fourth round, I was beating him, and he catches me with a head kick. And it comes down to that fifth round. It's like whoever wins this round wins the fight. And the line I said before the fifth round when I was like, "You're not gonna beat me. I'm prepared to die." Like that was a bar. That was like a one-liner that's gonna echo throughout the UFC's history, you know. And I turned it up in the fifth round to another level. So I even looked better than the first round, and that made me. After that fight, that gave me so much confidence of what I could do, where I could go. Because now I've seen the darkness for real. So I know like, oh, it goes deeper. I haven't hit the end yet, so you'll never hit the end. But I know I can go deeper than a lot of people can.
If you could take all the trimmings away from it, the title, the belt, everything else, and lay it beside all the other fights and just try and keep them equal with no frills, how close does anything else get to that? Is there anything in
Before that, I think Brad Tavares last year, in July last year, was my favorite fight in the UFC because it went on 5 rounds, and I don't know, I got to show off my skills a lot more in 5 rounds, you know, different aspects of my game. And I did that in this fight as well, but just the story of it, the back and forth movie of a fight it was, yeah, it's my favorite fight currently in the UFC, currently.
Well, you're going to have another one shortly, and you're already back in training.
Yeah, I've been back in training for a while now. And yeah, you know, I needed that time away because I've been working. I've been putting my ass on the line, my life on the line. So not just in the cage, but in the gym as well. And it's just time to like, I had to let the body relax. I had to let the mind rest. And now I'm chomping at the bit for another scrap. And I have, you know, a formidable opponent to do it against.
Yeah, that was something we've spoken to once before, you know, when you first went into the UFC, you said you want to keep busy, and now that you've had a real tough fight like that, do you think, how many fights a year do you think you're capable of at that level?
At that level, I can do 4 fights a year. 4 fights a year, yeah. I did, I think it was 5 in a span of 1 year. That was 5 in 365 days. So if I can do that, I say 4 fights. But minimum, I'm going less than 3 fights. I don't want 2 fights a year. That's shit. I do not want that. No matter how much I get, I just like staying active. So 3 fights a year, minimum, is the best. 4, I can handle. But I know they only have so many shows, and they don't like to put their champions on currently. So, yeah, 3 fights a year would be the minimum. I'm not going less than 3 fights a year.
Talk about the big one now, the venue, because there was a lot of forward back and forth about the venue. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Melbourne, I was hoping to be in Sydney. That would have been cool, but Melbourne's good. I can take that, and yeah, I've been there before. I was there for UFC 193 when Ronda Rousey fell to Holly Holm, and I remember the feeling being in that arena. Even when some guys came out, the speakers, I remember how they were pumping the music. It was louder than any other UFC I've been prior. And it was just a different vibe. So yeah, a stadium show. And this time I'm on the nosebleeds, you know. I'm front and center, headlining the show.
It's the first time you've had, or the biggest break you've had for a long, long time. What shape did you come back in? Did you stay?
I was good. Yeah, I wasn't in fighting shape, but I was ready. You know, I wasn't in fighting shape. I was just eating, drinking, having fun, living life. I even did like a little, during my travels, I did a little baseline testing at the UFC Performance Institute, and they were quite surprised at some of my numbers, and they kept on saying, well, there's room for improvement. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I just got off the couch. I'm still on the couch. But yeah, they were quite surprised at some of my numbers on certain things I was doing naturally without even trying, like burning fat or twitch fibers and whatnot. Yeah, so my body's always ready, you know. So now I'm getting prepared. It's a difference between staying ready and being prepared.
Hey, well, great to catch up again after 4 months.
Always.
And we'll get to
and I new home.
Oh yeah, new home. How do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait to knock these walls down. I can't wait so we can have much more space. But yeah, beautiful. I like the fact that it's another cul-de-sac. I didn't want it to be on the main street. I like a cul-de-sac where it's closed off. And yeah, it's kind of away. It's a little bit like city kickboxing before was away. We had all these corporate people around, but this one's a little bit more secluded, which I like. Yeah,
Everything's on target then.
on target. Let's go. Sure, brother. Thank you, sir.
Hope to get to talk to you before
We
you
will. We
before
will.
the
We'll
big
be on
one.
again.
Good on you.
Oh man, thank you.
Hey, thanks for
Easy as.
Appreciate that, mate.
No worries.
Is it Ryan get back or you get back?
It was good to take